you're using, and if you're speaking, please use the microphone so that it gets recorded. Is there any public input? If not, were we going to have any delegations? Okay. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? Oh, Chris, okay. Yeah. If there are no additions or deletions to the agenda, I need a motion to approve.
No motion.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The next is approval of the minutes from December 10th meeting. Any questions, comments?
Move to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The next thing is approval of the bills. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and work on the, talk about the bills. We have kind of the end of the year. I do want to bring up, I did have a conversation with Chris earlier about the bills are generally approved by council prior to them coming here, just so you're aware. And we'll probably just work on when we do our operating budget to make sure we get that out to you guys ahead of time. And anytime we work on our monthly report to talk about upcoming projects, we try to do that already, but I think we're going to be a little bit more careful in making sure that you see each and every one of those bills, especially under that $15,000 range for those things. Most of the capital projects we talk about during budget time is this last year I looked, it was everything above, it was about 16,000 and up, and so we'll make sure we have those conversations with you beforehand, so you feel more part of that process. And also, we still would like you to approve the bills as more of a formality and informative information for you. I can go into detail each month like we've been doing if you want me to continue to do that. And or if you don't, if you want to just ask questions, we could do that as well. But since it's the end of the year, I'll go ahead and go through it today. Keep in mind, all the bills aren't completed quite yet, so you'll get your final 2020 budget review next month. If you want to go to page 2, we actually came very close to where we were last year. Oh, I'm sorry, I got to remember to put it up here. I can't see from all the way over here. It's so hard. I guess this would be page 2 right here. Means you're gonna have to help me if I can't see it. I'm supposed to be on page 2 there. Under revenue, over and under expenditures, current year-to-date actuals is $2,389,000. we were very close to our last year, despite the issues that we had. And I'll show you some of those, how we kind of made it here on the revenue. We were short here on revenue. If you can look down right about here, 842. Our budget is 1,005,000. So we're only 162,000 off of where we should be, and that's fantastic. I mean, only being down 15% in a COVID year is perfect. I mean, we're part of that, though. I wanted to show you right here, FEMA money for 53,000. Those are from that storms that we had last year. We were reimbursed, so that was a little bit of a saving grace for us there. Any questions on the revenue? Most of the losses were at the rec center, of course, and our programs. Did pretty well everywhere else. Cadwell, the ice arena was down, of course. We had to close early last year, and that hurt us a little bit. But overall, I think we did pretty good considering the circumstances we had. So we'll go down to, I'll just kind of, this would be Recreation Aquatics. Nothing I really wanted to point out here. Most of our expenses were down. Our staffing was down because we had a shorter summer. We were less busy. Kind of all those things put together. We did pretty well on the aquatic center. This would be the rec center. Again, with our expenses, we did very well. We went over about 10,000 for some, pump house issues that we had to do. We also scrubbed that bottom of that leisure pool. So we got some extra work done this year, and we got that, approved with the mayor and council, of course, to make sure we could work on that project. This would be sports complex. Nothing really, just a little bit over on repair and maintenance, and that was due to compressor issues at the north rink, about 4,000 over. You can see right here. Nothing else that was really an issue. Again, being that we shut down early, we had some staffing freezes, hiring freezes at the beginning of summer, so that helped with our finances at the ice arena in Cadwell. The next one would be concessions. Again, we lost a little bit of money there because we started the concessions this year and then all the tournaments got canceled. So to get it going, we invested about 15,000. Approximately 15, wouldn't you say, Jeremy? Yeah. And the expenses there was 24, and we brought in 16. So we did make a profit of operating, but not the capital improvements that we made. But those are good for a long time now because we got sinks in there, and it's all ready for future use. Parks, same story. No real issues with having to close down a little earlier in the hiring freeze this year, and holding back on a couple of projects. So we're under budget there. And let's see if there's any more. The campground, I'll get to that one. You'll have to tell me if I'm at the campground. I can't see it.
No.
Is that the campground? Okay, so campground did very well. We're not brought in 93,000. Our budget was 61, and currently we're sitting at a $42,000 profit with all of our expenses that we've had this year. So people are out camping. As for the bills, quickly go through those. I don't know how I'm going to get to page 19 here. Are these not the bills, Angel? Is that just getting? Okay. Is that this one? I think I'm gonna sit up there next time. Okay, I need to get to page 19.
2 more.
Okay, so, Jeremy, this is the resin boxes for 1363. That's the pink around.
Yeah, the resin boxes are how we paint the rink pink.
So let me just count the pages then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one here, lease expense for $2280. That's the entrance door at the rec center. The handicap opening went out, so we had to replace that. 2, 3, $2,000. What page are we on?
29.
One more. $2,000. It should be the remainder of the MSH project. The ice arena roof is completed, and I do want to say I was going to bring it up during my report, but everything's done, so that we shouldn't have any leakage from the snow melting on the roof this year. So far, so good. We had some warm days, so I think we're already showing that that's doing well. There's still some condensation issues that we're going to try to address. We might just put some insulation in the wall between the two buildings yet. So, all right. This one here for $24.94. Carpet at Patton Young. We replaced the old stained carpet there and got that done. I think the last one was the one, Chris, that you had asked about, the self-pay station at the campground. There, is that it? Yep. Okay. Yep, so the self-pay station at the campground, again, that's something that was put in through our operating budget and approved, and they asked me to go ahead and get that done this year since we had the cash in the campground to do that, and that's to have the credit card payment system at the entrance. Right now, we only have cash for those that show up, and at least an Angel can kind of weigh in here because she works with the customers over there, but we have a lot of people that just drive in and pay and only pay cash or check or credit card, but they come in last minute, not knowing that they're going to stay here or because they're just driving through and picking a place on their way. So not being able to do last minute reservations online at this point because of the coordination between our staff here and what time they have to go home. We don't have someone on site 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, so we're doing the credit card statement. And if you know my dad, he still has a flip phone, so he wouldn't be able to pay online regardless. I mean, and we have a lot of those. So, so that's what that is. And I apologize for not getting that on there ahead of time. I went back and looked, and we didn't have it on there, but it was in our budget that we submitted. So. But that was all approved and done. So, any questions?
Nate, I just have a question, and this doesn't have anything to do with bills, but it will be a bill. The bottom of the leisure pool is in kind of bad shape, and what's the plan for making it better?
Well, we just sent out an email this week to the architects and the builders to see what the problem is, because our outdoor pool, we still haven't replaced the Diamond Bright on that pool. So that's, I don't know how many years, 2006. So that's like 14 years old, and we haven't done anything there. This one we need to replace it, and the pool's only a couple of years old. So, or I shouldn't say we need to replace it because I don't know if we need to replace it, but we've already had patched it 20 times, and we have several more that need more patches. So I'm assuming you have to take it out and start over.
And you won't know anything until you hear back?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep, we'll report back when we have an answer.
Because
Yep.
it's bad.
It is bad.
You know, you patch it and it cracks right beside the patches.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay, then I need a motion to approve the bills.
So moved.
Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Okay. Any old business? If not, we'll move on to the new business. Department reports. Do we have one from Kevin?
I can go over his real quick. Programs that are starting up, we've got youth wrestling, swim lessons, travel basketball, and men's basketball. If they haven't started already, they're starting up in the next week or two. We are working on our summer brochure. We're still doing print. Several Parks and Rec agencies around the country still do it. Most of them do. I haven't heard of any that don't, but so I don't know who to talk to find someone who does it and see how it's working, but it might be something we talk about in the future. I mean, the cost to us is around $4,000 to $5,000 to print the brochures, but we're planning on doing that this year, and so just keeping you guys updated there. The rec center, again, saw a drop when the COVID cases increased and when the mask requirements came up, but they've picked back up, and we think that things are getting a little bit more back to normal. We've been around 15 to 20% down at the rec center when things are feeling normal, so from the previous year. That's it.
Any questions?
I guess I just would like to see everything go online and not have you print the brochures. Me personally, I don't see a point in them. I can go to the website and get it.
Yep, yep. That's what we've been talking about, and you know, we could bring that to the board next month and see if that's the direction we want to go. And I think we still got plenty of time. I don't think he wants to have registration until April.
So in the past, were they sent out, or were they?
What's that?
In the past, were they like?
Yes,
sent-
they
sent
go to
out?
all the schools and go into the backpack.
Okay.
So.
Which we haven't been getting any handouts in my kid's school this year. It's been all just to get a digital.
This is true. We may not be able to hand them out this year if you think about it. I don't know. I haven't. We should probably look into that as well.
They also go in the newspaper too, so.
So you just wonder if you're going to see a drop if, you know, I don't know. Just thinking how busy my life was and that, if that thing wasn't laying around our house, would we just not go online and not sign up? If it was a smaller program, I mean, not basketball or wrestling or something, but some of the smaller programs you guys do.
And we asked this question in the master plan, and it was, I think, if my memory serves me right, it was about 45% say they get their information from that brochure.
So it's pretty high then. I mean,
yeah, but that was 2018. I'm sure that number is going to gradually drop, and this year, you know, push people more online than they've been in the past. So. And you will hear that our shelter rentals are now online, so they don't have to come in and reserve a shelter in the office. They can do it right in their home. So.
Steve? Parks and Forestry?
Okay, we started doing our tree removals in the parks. We're getting out in the boulevards now a little bit. Working on snow removal equipment, had to make some repairs after the last snowstorm. We tore out that wood walking bridge just south of the Indian Village that got damaged by a tree that came down and crushed it. Instead of replacing the bridge with a wooden bridge, we just filled in the area with clay and kind of rocked the shoreline, made it wider, took out some trees that was in between that and the road, kind of cleaned up that area. Next spring, we'll have to do some more dirt work to seed it. They plant a couple of trees in the area and probably add some gravel to the path. Other than that, we've just been working on splitting firewood from the campground. Like I said, snow removal, just working around the shop, cleaning it up. Took down the Christmas decorations and ongoing maintenance at the Kelly property. Any questions?
Jeremy, sports complex?
This week on Wednesday, we painted the rink pink for this weekend, and we got one game tomorrow. We got 6 games Saturday for the actual Pink the Rink, and 5 games on Sunday. January's still our busiest month. We got the Mike tournament, the 23rd and 4th, 11 teams, and that'll be our last tournament until the U14 girls state tournament. Open skate and bumper cars, the week between Christmas and New Year's, we opened the times up from 2 to 5 during the week, and we brought in almost $3,000, so it was very busy with that. Still kind of up and down. One day we'll have $60, but I think last Saturday we were close to 700. Depends on what's going on and weather, I think. We've also had 9 ice rentals with bumper cars and just ice skating rentals in the last couple of weeks, so that's been really busy too. We're going to start going through locker rooms and painting where we need to. We got the ceiling in one of them painted from some water that came in from last year. We'll start to do that. Middle school started back up. They're going 3 classes for 2 weeks, and then every class they come over for PE for 2 weeks after that. Then just maintenance, edging and dry shaving and cleaning, a lot of cleaning. It's been busy with games, practices, tournaments. Over at Cadwell, we got some tin to put on a cart shed down by our west shop. That's kind of an eyesore. It used to be the old Drake concession, so it's pretty old. Still works. It's still functional and sturdy, but
Could you let them know what you spent on that, just so you know?
yeah, it was about $2,000 for the tin. We're going to do the sides and the roof and sure up a little bit of 2x4s inside. Make sure we can put those on. And hopefully this summer is looking better. I got 6 tournaments scheduled, or 7 now with the state amateur tournament. So I'm hoping, guessing, but hoping things are going to turn around. We got six scheduled, and I know of 2 more that just waiting to hear from. They're going to do it. They just haven't scheduled them yet. So hopefully we get better in the summer. Looking, as of now, looking that way.
Any questions for Jeremy? Nate, department report?
Yep, I'll talk about a few things here. We did do the final walkthrough, like I mentioned, for the ice arena roof, and that's complete. We are asking for cost estimates to actually help to continually work on that condensation issue and that wall that's between the 2 buildings. The skate park upgrade we have all the funding lined up. We're still waiting. We've been waiting for a year for the federal government to release those funds to the state so the state could get those funds to us. So it was, it'll be this fall. Then it's going to be in January, and here we are. So it's going to get released, and once they do, I'll bring a contract to you, and we can get that project moving along. The online shelter reservations have started. We have dredging design presentations with Public Works. Those are on the 25th, so we'll choose a firm to start designing the dredging project. And then the Firestill Park planning meeting, again, this is for recreation, so we've already met with 3 of you. Chris, you're going to be at the trail meeting, and we'll be able to bring that next month. We'll have a concept plan, and then we'll take your input, and then we'll take that back and fix it. So whatever, and that way, so the board will have their input, and then we'll bring it back for approval. So that'll be over the next 2 months. COVID guidelines, I did not put those in the the packet, but I need some input. With the mask mandate ends, we were going to just revert back to where we were and just require associations. If Kevin, I haven't talked to him about it actually yet. If he wants to keep it for the rec center and the youth, he can do that. So we can do it as individual facilities, but there's no enforcement of it if you have a requirement. So we couldn't call 911 or anything to have someone come out and take care of it. But so unless you have any other thoughts right now, I take your input. And that's it.
For me, it's whatever the staff is comfortable with.
Yeah, yeah,
Many people have to work there.
yep. We have a staff requirement anyways, so that won't change. We still have to, if we're within 6 feet of each other, we're required to have masks on. That won't change. Yeah. That's all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can you report on the instructor and facility use agreement?
I will do my best because Kevin or Thomas couldn't make it, and Justin wrote it, so maybe he can add to it. I'll just read what Thomas wrote to me here. Again, he's.
Hey, I think you're on the wrong one.
Oh,
One above it.
sorry.
That's okay.
I can't see it. I'm so
Oh,
sorry today. Up. Okay. Need new glasses. Okay, so this contract here, let me make it a little bigger, is a contract with DWU for Thomas to teach a class, and then they're going to pay him for that class, but they're not paying him, they're paying the city, the rec center, the funds to actually teach those classes. He'll be teaching an exercise consideration class for special populations, and it'll be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 8:50. Certain class sessions will take place at the rec center with the members we currently work with, and they'll receive $1,800 revenue to offset his time. So we don't have any objection to this, but this will be up to the board ultimately. And like I said, Justin was in conversations with DWU, so if you have any questions for him.
My only question is, what if Thomas quits next week?
If he what?
What if he quits, turns in his notice, and what do you?
Yeah, so
Another instructor then?
in that case, we'd have to find somebody else to fill in.
Yeah. So it would be our personal trainer would move into that role.
Any other questions, comments? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve this instructor and facility use agreement.
I'll motion. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's passed. Request approval of 2021 Tennis Association agreement.
Was this one the correct one? All right. This is our standard agreement. There's no edits to the contract itself. The only edit this year is the increase per athlete. And again, the board has, at least in the past, just charged the $10 fee. It was $9 last year because their costs are just the lights, which is very minimal. We more than meet our 50% goal here for the tennis courts.
Any questions? Somebody make a motion to approve the Tennis Association agreement.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Request to approve the amended agreement with the Mitchell Figure Skating Academy.
that correct? All right, so it's the section 2. We didn't edit any other sections, Justin, did we, or?
Section 2, and then we added one section at the end to deal with the free skate.
Okay. That's right. Okay. So we've been talking the last month, and we went back to the drawing board and talking with figure skating, and we also met with hockey. So we'll talk about the hockey contract, but the changes are the same. So we can kind of get the conversation through for both groups at the same time. What we did was to clarify the hourly rate rather than having the 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after. And we averaged out those fees, and figure skating was being charged, their effective rate was $84 an hour, or 83 something. And then if you looked at what hockey was paying on average, it was in that $75 to $76 range. So we took those averages and said, okay, well, let's just do one rate of $75 per hour, per rink, for scheduled time. If you have any questions, you can look at the scheduled time on section B there if you want to read through that. If you have any questions. And if you want, any other sections you want to look at, or we'll go down to the other changes. So this is up. This would change your rate. It was $66 for this season. You had already approved 67, but this would automatically put it at 75 for next year. We would not do an increase. We are offering them a 5% discount this year for the troubles and just kind of getting through it for both groups. So the increase would automatically be the 5% that they'll have to pay next year. So we won't be coming back for any more increases until we do fees next year. And then 21. So I'm going to let Jeremy talk about the free skate program.
Figure skating does a free skate program. It helps their athletes out, but it also helps us out. It's kind of idle time when we wouldn't have anything going on. So they charge $50 per athlete, and then come and they kind of just practice on their own. And then at the end of the year, we get a check from figure skating for however many athletes times $50, and it's pretty much time that no one would be on the ice anyways.
And previously, I'd just add that previously there wasn't any agreement in writing to that effect. It's been something that's been happening for many years, but we finally rolled it into the agreement so that it's down and everybody understands what's going on with it.
So the hockey agreement will just have that section 2 added, but not the section 21. Okay. We don't have any other edits in hockey?
So when can the free skate time be scheduled? Anytime, or just if no one else is using the ice, we can get that rate?
Yeah, they kind of pick up see when they have open time that works for them, and then put it on their schedule. But it's pretty consistent. Once it starts, it goes off of those times throughout the season.
Sure.
So the free skate, what they call is free skate ice, that is open for anybody that holds a U.S. figure skating card of insurance. All of our athletes have to belong to U.S. figure skating, but all area clubs, whether you go to Sioux Falls, Minneapolis, anywhere you go, a lot of rinks will promote what we call idle time, that nobody really wants the rink. They might go 6 in the morning on a school day. We've tried last year, on school days, we went from 6:30 in the morning till 7:30. What it does is it promotes time on idle ice where you otherwise wouldn't make money. The Showsplex offers it right now. They actually just run it straight through the city. Everybody does it different depending on if it's a city-run facility. Actually, that one's a private-run facility. It's not city-run. So they just operate how the money goes a little bit differently. But what it does is it promotes time on idle ice to use the ice, and a lot of times we as clubs can turn those into hours we eventually rent, because if I were to start offering something at 6 o'clock, nobody's going to sign up for it. We start getting people accustomed to coming at 6 o'clock. A year or two from now, when they get into high school, I have a lot of high school kids that will probably go, I'd rather skate at 6 o'clock. So that's where this kind of comes from, so that we work together. And by putting it into the contract with Justin, it kind of ensures that everybody has the right insurance and the right people are in effect in case there was any type of liability. I think that's kind of some of the reason for putting it in there as well. But it's very common practice in the ice skating world to offer that. And I then would allow anybody who holds a U.S. figure skating card to buy in and onto that ice and to be able to practice, but they have to be a figure skater. It's not just open to the public.
Mary Ellen, before you vote, maybe it's good to ask for public input on it before you vote. If you have anything you want to say, or hockey didn't come, so yeah.
Anybody want to ask any more questions or add to this?
If you want to do
I guess I'd just like to thank Justin. Justin really put a lot of time and effort into doing this. I think we spent a lot of the month of December, I think, working on it, not getting anything else done. And I just want to thank you guys for really digging into it and the discrepancies in the contract and being able to work through it. I think Justin and I worked through it pretty easily. But again, I just want to say thank you for doing that,
And
or considering it, I guess.
And hockey also is on board as of last night. They do have a board meeting today, so they said to go ahead and move forward.
What will the difference in the revenue between the two contracts be?
Oh. Give me 1 second. I can pull that up. If I can find my mouse. Justin, would you be able to email it to me? Just in case
As long as my internet's working. Should have it.
Yeah, for some reason I can't find mine. Let me move this over and I'll review that with you. Nice and big for eyes like mine. Okay, so of course I can't read the bottom.
That would be the current, or the new method there, the ice time method.
So this would be the ice time method for figure skating with the $75. We had to give some COVID credit hours from last year, about 59. We're doing a 5% credit as well. So the new total is 9,313. Is this figure skating? All right. This would be the old invoice. So you can see what the difference would be with the scheduled ice time and the changes that we have. Again, with the same credit, the COVID credit as well. So it goes from 11 to 14, or to 9, I'm sorry, total. Hockey is a little bit different. because they have longer sessions, so their average fee was at 75 to 76 range, so you won't see much of a difference here. That'd be the far one, and this would be the original. So we're giving them a 5%. So, but the reason we're meeting budget, so we're okay to give the 5%. We will not be taking the capital improvement fee out of that this year. That'll start next year because that's where that 5% is coming from. So we're okay. We're within budget. That just won't. Our capital improvement budget won't go up for the ice arena. Any other questions?
It was something that you and I talked about before it went to hockey. Did they keep that paragraph in there the same about the resurfacing? Can you go back to the contract?
Yeah.
Nate?
You want hockey's?
No, it's on mine too.
Okay.
It's the same
What,
wording.
what section?
Section 2. Did we end up leaving that the same? So one of the things that caused us a little bit of heartburn before, and I just want to make sure that everybody's here is on the same page, is item 2B. It says an ice time fee of $75 per rink per hour. The ice time fee includes all hours that a rink is scheduled for use, regardless of whether it's actually used or if resurfacing is required or requested during the time period. Mitchell Figure Skating Association will not be billed separately for resurfacing occurring before or after a scheduled session, and such resurfacing will not be considered ice time for purposes of calculating ice time fee. We just want to make sure that this clarified that prior to us taking the ice, that was included in our $75 rental. So that did address my concerns that we do not pay for resurfacing before our rental period, or after. We only pay for the resurfacing during. So if I rent ice from 9 to 1 and I want 2 resurfaces in the middle, then that's billed as ice time. So we did get that rectified, and I just want to make sure that we knew that that was how it was going to be.
Right, yep. So the intention would be just to charge for the block of time itself, not for any resurfacing that occurs before or during that session or after, treating it just as the ice time. And it, they can resurface however much they want during that period. It's just going to mean that they can use the ice that less. So we were able to clarify that, and we did have that discussion specifically with hockey, and they understood that point too.
So all goes well with the billing at the end of the season. We shouldn't have to. We'll just come back with the new contract next winter with the same language.
Then I need a motion to approve the MFSA amended agreement with Section 2 and Section 21 added or changed.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then is there any more on the hockey agreement?
So with the Zamboniing thing, that makes it a little weird with hockey, because, so what happens between games? Like, so say the association has, like, Saturday, and there's 6 games. Do they basically pay from the beginning of that day all the way through, including the breaks between the games for resurfacing and all that? Is that how that's going to work?
Yeah, 'cause it'd be considered one block of time.
Okay. Right. Well, that's what I was thinking in my head, you know, like the state schedules it and say they schedule I guess that doesn't usually happen. They're usually pretty tight, aren't they, when they schedule
This year, everything has been,
a block?
there was only one time, and it was a practice on, I think, the day before Thanksgiving when they didn't have school, and they had a 10 o'clock practice and a 4 o'clock practice or something.
Yeah.
But that was the only time that everything was not pretty much back to back.
And keep in mind, I guess, the way things would have been working this year is they would have been getting charged for that whole block, and they would have been getting charged a half
Yeah.
hour before and a half
Yeah.
hour after. Yep, that would have been for games. And we had a lot of discussion with hockey on Tuesday night about, you know, when they come in and they practice, you know, they got practices that go to 6 to 6:45, and then they'll get a resurface in. And we explained, you know, you might have a break there, and there might be resurfacing going on, but as far as the city's concerned, all those practices, it's one block of time as
Yep.
far as we're concerned.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, I need a motion to approve the MSHA amended agreement, which would be the section 2 and not the section 21 from the previous one.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any other new business?
Can I just make a note on that? There
Sure.
is a section 21 in their contract, but it's not the same.
The same.
They have a longer contract because they are doing signage and concessions as well, so. But yeah, so
Should we change that motion?
just if you can amend it, that would be great.
Okay, well, do I need a motion to amend it?
I don't know.
You might as well do a new motion.
Okay. Pat, would you like to make the motion? They have a 21, so they're just changing the section 2.
Second.
All in favor? Any other new business? Then the next meeting date should be February 11th at 6 o'clock. Is that okay with you that are here, as far as you know?
And we'll have a presentation for the Firestill Park during that meeting, so it'd be great to have everybody here. Yep.
Okay, meeting's adjourned.